the king of the north!
I am the dragon's daughter.
What right does the wolf judge the lion?
Hello, sweet summer children. Episode 4 was probably one of the best episodes I've seen in a long time. I think I can sum the episode up in 3 words. Fire and blood. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to leave a comment summing up the episode in 3 words. So episode 4, The Spoils of War, was directed by Matt Shakman, and he did a phenomenal job. It was the shortest episode of season 7, but not a minute was wasted. Let's jump right in. We started off in Highgarden. In episode 3, the Lannister army had taken Highgarden, so it's fitting that we are leaving Highgarden in episode 4. Jaime stops one of the wagons heading for King's Landing and gives Bronn some gold, but Bronn is not impressed. The thing about Bronn is, Bronn wants a castle. In the books, Bronn is currently the Lord of Stokeworth and is married to Lollis Stokeworth, Lollis the Lagwit. Lollis was raped during the riot of King's Landing and she got pregnant. This happens before Bronn, but when she has her bastard son, Bronn names him Tyrion. In the show, Bronn is with Lollis when Jaime comes calling. Basically, Jaime says he'll get him a better castle than Stokeworth and a better wife than Lollis. Randall Tarley and his sons Dickon are emptying out all of the granaries and collecting all the harvests from farmers. House Tyrell is a powerful house, not because of their military strength. Even though they have a good sized army, it wasn't that. It was because House Tyrell controlled a lot of the food supply to a great portion of Westeros. During Robert's rebellion, Lord Mace Tyrell and Lord Randall Tarley nearly starved Stannis to death at Storm's End. They had the poor man boiling book pages and eating seagulls. Also, in King's Landing, when Highgarden was sworn to Renly, they closed down the Rose Road and caused a famine in King's Landing. So when Joffrey and Margaery were betrothed, wagons upon wagons of food started to arrive to King's Landing daily. So the power of the Reach, or the power of Highgarden, is food, and food is serious. It's a determining factor in the wars to come. Cersei meets with Tycho Nestoris again. He's been with her at the Red Keep waiting for this payment from Highgarden. The gold from Highgarden is to go to the Iron Bank. Cersei also lets in that she's looking to hire the Golden Company. The Golden Company is a group of sellswords founded by Bittersteel. Bittersteel was Aegor Rivers. Aegor Rivers is a Blackfyre Targaryen, and he headed most of the Blackfyre rebellions. He's long dead, but the Golden Company still lives on. Now, she says she wants to hire them to recover some things that belong to her. Now, those things could very well be kingdoms, or they could be castles. Of course she wants to use them, and she's going to need them after the L she just took, let's be honest. But I think she may very well be talking about Casterly Rock and Storm's End. But then again, I don't know the status of Storm's End yet, so we're gonna have to wait and see what she wants to recover. When we go to the north, Bran is completely weird. Littlefinger gives Bran the Catspaw Blade. The Catspaw Blade was given to someone to kill Bran in his bed, and was really the cause of the War of 5 Kings. Catelyn took the Catspaw Blade to King's Landing and gave it to Ned. Ned thought it belonged to Tyrion, thought Tyrion sent the Catspaw. It was just so many rumors. Most people agree that it was Littlefinger, but the evidence doesn't really point to Littlefinger blatantly. The book evidence points to a couple different people. I am of the belief that it was Littlefinger, but there's also compelling arguments for other characters to have sent the Catspaw. As Littlefinger is talking and weaving his web, Bran says, "Boom! Chaos is a ladder." This is a callback to Littlefinger when he told Varys that chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder.
So it's safe to say that Bran knows about Littlefinger, and Bran just pulled his card. Mira's goodbye to Bran was very sad, because Bran isn't Bran anymore. When she says Bran says, "I'm not really, not anymore." Mira responds with, "You died in that cave." When Bran did that huge download of everything ever when he was escaping the cave, the memories he downloaded were so big and so many that he doesn't have room to be Brandon Stark anymore. He has to be the Three-Eyed Raven. His being is a magical being, so human emotions really don't apply. Human emotions really don't exist. Or if they do, they're not in the forefront anymore. And everything is suppressed because he has this bigger world-saving agenda to worry about. But in all seriousness, Bran really is creeping me out, guys. So Arya comes home. Arya back in Winterfell gave me the feels. She asked the guards at the gate to get Maester Luwin and Sir Roderick. They're both dead, and they both died in season 2. So Arya really doesn't have much information about what's going on with her family. She's just looking around, remembering everything, and it's like you can see it on her face. You can see the memories on her face. It's awesome. It brings me back to season 1 in the beginning when all the Starks were so happy. Arya dips out on the guards and immediately goes to the crypts to look at her father's statue. It was heartwarming to see Arya and Sansa together in the crypts. The last time they had seen each other, they weren't on good terms, and they were in King's Landing. They've both had hard journeys and paths, and their stories aren't over. To me, it wasn't emotional like I thought it would be. Sansa and Arya's reunion was way less emotional than Sansa and Jon, and Arya and Bran's reunion was less emotional. Arya and Hot Pie's reunion a couple episodes ago wasn't that emotional. And I think it's not supposed to be emotional. I think that Arya has been suppressing emotion and being all about death and killing people, so I think it's kind of hard for her to show emotion even though she smiles and hugs them. I don't know, I didn't feel it. Arya, Bran, and Sansa all convey in the Godswood. Bran says he saw Arya at the inn at the crossroads. So was he warged into Nymeria, or did he just see her through some weirwood down there? But he saw her at the crossroads. He thought she was going to kill Cersei because he can basically read minds and has visions. Bran gives Arya the Catspaw blade, and I think he gives it to her because he knows that she will be fighting the White Walkers. He's already foreseen this. Catspaw is Valyrian steel, and he knows that Arya has a part to play in the wars to come because the Valyrian steel kills White Walkers. Brienne and Pod see Arya, Sansa, and Bran together, and Brienne has kept her oath that she made to Lady Catelyn all those years ago to get her daughter to safety. That was emotional for me because it really feels like this story is winding down. It was so long ago that Brienne made this promise to Catelyn, and it was so long ago that the Starks were in Winterfell. So seeing them all converge back on Winterfell and seeing this oath being kept, it lets me know that the show is winding down, and it makes me so sad. In Dragonstone, Missandei is worried about Grey Worm, and she tells Dany that many things happened, and Dany is intrigued. But Jon winds up calling her into a cave of dragonglass. It's a huge, massive, beautiful cave of obsidian. Jon then takes Dany deeper into the cave. Sparks are flying everywhere. Daenerys is definitely a thing. Jon shows her the familiar symbols that we have seen throughout the series. The White Walkers have made these symbols and artwork over many seasons, and the symbols show the White Walkers' connection to the Children of the Forest. But Jon and Daenerys had this moment. Dany says she will help him, she will fight for him, she will fight for the North as long as he bends the knee. Jon thinks about it, but he says his people will never support a southern ruler after all they've been through. And Daenerys gets really close to his face, like I thought she was about to kiss him for real, but Daenerys was like, they will if their king does. Yes, like she likes him. I smell a marriage coming. When they leave the cave, Tyrion and Varys are there and give her good news first and then bad news second. So Castle Rock is hers, but Highgarden was taken. She is pissed. She's pissed at Tyrion, mainly because these are Tyrion's plans. She even questions if he really is against his family. You have to remember that Tyrion is a Lannister at the end of the day. Cersei is his sister and Jaime is his brother. And all these plans that have failed have been his plans. So Daenerys wants Jon's advice because she respects him. You can tell she wants him, even though she's angry with Tyrion. She does listen to him, kind of. She doesn't attack King's Landing. But in Winterfell, one of my favorite scenes of the episode was Arya sparring with Brienne. The dialogue was awesome. The music was awesome. But the point of this was to show us how badass Arya has gotten. She started long ago training to become become a water dancer from Serial Pharrell, traveling with the Brotherhood and then with the Hound, going to Bravos and back to Winterfell. And Brienne asks Arya, who taught you how to do that? And Arya just says, no one. I loved that. That was like one of my favorite scenes. So Davos and Jon is talking on the battlements, and Davos has clearly noticed Jon checking out the Dragon Queen. Jon and Davos also talk to Missandei and learn more about Daenerys. This is Jon getting groomed to be Daenerys' husband, guys. This is what, that's all that was. Missandei tells them how she's such a good queen and they believe in her and she's so just, and Jon and Davos both look impressed. Theon rose up on Jon. Jon doesn't kill Theon because Theon saves Sansa from the Boltons. Theon wants Daenerys to help him get Yara back from Euron, but Daenerys isn't there. So Jaime and Bronn are outside of King's Landing. Their forces are spread thin and all the gold has made it safely through the gates of King's Landing. So although Daenerys did roll up, the gold was already in King's Landing. So Randall Tarley isn't happy with the speed and laziness of the Lannister forces, and he suggests flogging the stragglers to speed them up. He says if they're attacked, they will never be able to form up in time to defend themselves. Jaime's like, nah, warn them first. But Bronn finds Dickon's name absolutely amusing. Didn't you guys miss Bronn? Like, I really missed Bronn. So for about the 100th time in this story, we learned that men shit themselves when they die. I mean, they just tell us that all the time. I'm starting to think that Bronn and Dolorous Edd are related somehow. This battle is glorious. Field of Fire 2.0, glorious. First, we hear the hooves of the Dothraki soldiers and the loud roar of the dragon. The look on Jaime's face is priceless. The music, everything was on point. We have Tarly men and Lannister men. Drogon looks glorious. He's just burning shit left and right. And just to let you know, he doesn't just burn people and they catch on fire. His fire is so hot, if he hits you dead on, you incinerate. He was out there on that field cremating people. Daenerys is going down the line, just burning wagons and men. When Jaime tells Bronn to get the scorpion, Bronn isn't happy about it. He's like, nah, you go get it. Bronn scrambles to get the scorpion, and in my opinion, it was very reminiscent of the Battle of Bastards, and he lost his gold in the process, which isn't going to make him happy. I actually think that Bronn is going to switch sides. Tyrion shows up, and it looks like either he's having second thoughts about Daenerys, or he's just mortified at the horrors of war. Bronn does wind up wounding Drogon, and when Drogon squealed, I was crying. I don't know how Daenerys was able to stay on him when he was flipping around and all that jazz, but she did, and he burned the scorpion, and then I believe he smashed it with his tail. Daenerys gets off of him to try to pull the spear out of his shoulder, and Jaime stupidly thinks it's a good idea to try to kill either Daenerys or Drogon. I don't think he was trying to kill Drogon, because did he really think that little spear would do any damage to Drogon? Anyway, Drogon blocks that, and just in the nick of time, Bronn saves Jaime, pushing him into the water. Now, did Jaime and Bronn drown? No, absolutely not. It's also important to note two things. First, Tyrion was standing nearby watching, so when Jaime gets pulled out, possibly Tyrion could talk to him then and tell him, hey, look, I need you to bend the knee. I need you to talk to Cersei now. You're going to lose. You're going to get fucked up. This is just the beginning, blah, blah, blah. Another thing, Dickon and Randall Tarley are sorta main characters. They're not really main characters, but they're important. So we didn't see them die, so we might pick up with what's going to happen to them or what their fates are in episode 5. Episode 5, from what I saw, was titled Blood of the Dragon. So what do you think will be going down in Blood of the Dragon, and what rating do you give the Spoils of War? As always, thanks for watching the video. If you like videos like this, then please give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for A Song of Ice and Fire and Game of Thrones content all year long. Okay, my sweet summer children, have a good day.